Okay. I'm getting myself ready before I go into work later on tonight. That I want to discuss unnecessary pains of life. Now, pain is something that I'm trying to find the right words for this. It is a part of your human right? It's a passage to life that we inherently are gifted from birth, right? We are born from out of pain. The mother, I asked my child this the other day, and it was like a jokingly thing because he was talking about childbirth, right? Not really discussing it because he doesn't know the whole concept of it. He doesn't know how children are actually born yet. But I told him, I said, there's a lot of pain. He said, when you came, I was in a whole lot of pain. I said, I'm pretty sure you was in pain too. And he goes, I was. And I said, you was? I said, you remember? He goes, yeah. I said, oh, okay. So what do you remember? What it felt like? He goes, I don't know. I was like, so you just agreeing to agree. But I'm pretty sure children go through pain as well. A child being birthed through the birth canal, the vaginal canal itself is not that big. It has to accommodate for hours. It has to constantly adjust itself. This way it accommodate that big old mango baby that you done developed in your womb. So yeah, God bless the children that are like six pounds. And God bless the mothers that the babies were 10-pounders. Almost to the point where it's just like, you need a C-section, mama. That baby's gonna rip you in half. So, and they still went through with the natural birth. God bless you. You are a soldier, mama. But those pains, it's painful, just as painful for the child, I can imagine, as it is for the mother. Children, when they're developed, maturation does not fully form until I think the age of 2. That's when maturation is at its fullest, right? That's why they tell you when they're babies, put them in front of everything and anything, even different languages, because the more that you expose them, the more transmitters are developed, right? Maturation is like at full speed, and it tends to die off after the age of 2. So I had Oliver in front of Telemundo, Spanish Sesame Street, everything, because I really wanted him to learn. I really wish I put him in front of Ask Benny. Ask Benny's more of an adult kind of thing, but you are still learning a language. But we do these things, right? We buy all these toys to stimulate them, so this way that maturation can grow. But transmitters are already present at sign of birth, right? So I'm pretty sure these neurotransmitters are sending off signals while they're in the birth canal. This is painful as hell. It's tight as hell in here, So it's just like, you mean to tell me children don't feel pain at all coming out? It doesn't make sense, right? They have to feel some form of pain. So I'm pretty sure it's pain. So going off of that, children are born into pain. It's a painful experience to be in this world. And that's one of the first painful experiences that you will experience. The first of many. But those things are innate. What about the things that can be avoided, right? So when I speak of unnecessary pain, I speak of the things that you can control. You can control how you act. You can control how you approach a situation. You can control what you say and how you said it. the actions that you do to other people and to yourself, right? Some pain you do to yourself. She's like, you should have known better. You did it anyway. Yeah, I kind of did it to myself. And there's some pains that's just like, yeah, that's like nowhere even near your fault. People are just assholes, right? So it's one of those type of things where if you can govern yourself, you actually can regulate how much pain someone can go through. You can live in a peaceful neighborhood and someone decides that I want to rob your house because I live nowhere, right? I want a piece of the pie too. And inflict pain on you and your whole family. Can sit there and murder and rape and pillage the whole house, right? They inflicted unnecessary pain that you didn't have to go through. The glory thing about this whole thing is, right, because it's a really dark concept, and it's a hard pill to swallow when you really think about it, right? People do evil things happen to people. But the silver lining in all this is that God uses your bad for your good. He uses it all for your good. So it's just like, even though you go through the most painfulest of moments, it's still something that will take you higher. That's something to look forward to with that. So it's just like, pain is not actually an enemy. It is your friend. And it's funny because when they talk about chosen ones all the time, right? And it's just like, chosen ones actually go through a shit ton of pain. They go through unimaginable amounts of pain. And usually that's like pretty much a sign of like, yeah, you're chosen to do something great, because in order for you to know, you have to actually have gone through something, right? It's a cross that you have to bear. Some crosses are a lot heavier than you think, right? Everybody wants this particular life. People look at other people, I want this type of life. You don't know what they go through. Celebrities, you don't know what they go through. You don't know the pain that they have to endure in order for them to even keep that status. So it's just like, I wouldn't judge people just off of appearance. I wouldn't sit there and act jealous or smug. Why this person gotta have it like that? You know how much pain they had to go through to get that? Do you know how much work they had to do? How much slaving they had to do to get that? It's just like, our business owners, it's just like, oh, their business is X, Y, and Z. And it's just like, you hating on something that you could probably learn from, in all honesty, right? So it's just like, don't hate, try to learn. But pain is something that is out of our control, and it is in our control. And you don't have to give unnecessary pain to people. You can choose to have different approaches, and you can choose to be kinder to people, right? Some people look at the process of pain as though I want to be the giver of pain, right? People be like, I'm going to tell you about yourself, right? Even though you did it in this type of fashion, you still gave pain, right? Judging is a form of pain. A lot of people don't even open up. It can't even be vulnerable because of a girlfriend or boyfriend that used their vulnerability against them, right? I just read a post off of Reverb experiment. Like, that's the place to be. And like, somebody posted it. It was just like, yo, like, it's an evil thing to do if someone is vulnerable to you and you use that against them afterwards. It's just like, you're messing up for the next person that they're going to be with, and you're messing yourself up, because it's just like, some people actually believe that they're doing the right thing. It's just like, somebody tells you their story and you use it as something, as a learning experience for others, and embarrass them. Or you even sell it about yourself. I'm going to tell you about yourself. And it's pretty much, when you're doing that, you're trying to embarrass them. You're trying to expose wounds that they very, very, so preciously entrusted it to you. And now you're exposing it as almost like an exploitation of trying to prove a point. And all you're doing is hurting more than you're curing. So it's just like, what was your mission in that? You are in control of how much pain, or if you don't give pain, right? You can be a soother, or you can be someone that just rips people apart, all in the name of, I'm trying to help you. But you also need to take into account critical thinking of how your approach is. You do not, we've seen it with our generation. Over the years, it was pretty much just like, I've always heard this growing up. If you spare the rod, spoil the child. A lot of kids were not even able to tell their parents how the hell they even felt, because all they got was the belt, right? There was no like, fuck that, pass me my belt. But, no, pass me my belt. That was it. So then you just learn not to say shit. Like, you just learn not to say nothing. Or learn not to get caught, Some kids are just like, fuck it, I'm going to risk it all. Just not going to get caught. And this generation, not saying this generation, but generation that we are now in our 30s, 80s babies, we're actually talking more of like therapy and really trying to dissect and fix a lot of dysfunctional ways that we grew up with, right? And having poor communication skills is one. Having poor soft skills is one. And I really feel like a lot of older generations are going to feel kind of salty because that's not the way they're used to doing things. And younger generations are really starting to say, no, I got a voice and I'm going to tell you how, what it is. Even if they say it in the nicest of ways, some people still take it as disrespectful, right? A child's not supposed to be, they're not supposed to be seen and not heard. They'd be like, I'm 30 goddamn years old. You're going to hear me today, bitch. But, and it is some people that they take it like, wow, like, you're breaking generational curses, or I didn't even think that I was doing this to you. I'm so sorry as a parent that I did this, that I was doing this, and they're actually proud of the child, so it can't really put like something on everyone to say a whole generation is like this, but the majority is. Then it's something to take account of. You can say something very lovingly, and you could say something with malicious intent. And you inflicting that amount of pain on someone is unnecessary. God has grace and God will use it for your good. But God will also judge the person that inflicted that pain, and which is like, where were you coming from when you did this? And you will be judged the same way. So it's just like, you don't have to give more pain that necessarily has to be done, right? Death. Loss in a family, or earthquakes or whatever. These things are out of your control. You're going to feel pain, but you don't have to go and confide to a friend. That friend betrays you, or tells everybody like what you're going through, or gossips. That's pain that is unnecessary, or even if like somebody told you something and you have a red table talk right afterwards, like, well, let's just talk about it. Meaning they don't even want to talk about it. They confided it into you. You're inflicting pain. You don't have to do these things. You choose to do these things. And you feel, I won't say all of you, but some people do feel like they're doing right by that person, or right by telling making justice of the message. In all actuality, all you're doing is trying to get brownie points of, oh my God, you're so smart. You're so wise, What I tend to notice that people that use other people's stories to prove a point are actually more foolish than the people that has gone through the most embarrassing, that has gone through that embarrassing moment. They're way more foolish. And people that tend to speak about their own trials and tribulations, they actually are kind of more humble, because they're, it's just like, yeah, I'm going to tell you more, I'm going to tell you this and but, I'm going to, they come from it's like a different place that they come from, and it's way more, it's easier to process and to be open to listen to them by hearing their story, because it is a privilege for people to be vulnerable with you. It is a privilege to hear someone's story. That person's story is none of your business. In all actuality, it's none of your business. Even the person that has harmed you, it's still none of their business. You don't have to tell them you hurt me. You do it more for yourself than you do for them. Because you can forgive, and that person I will never say sorry. The person that has no idea that you forgave them. They don't have to know that. That's something that's for you. That's something between you. You accepting you and what happened. That person doesn't have to know. it's a privilege to be invited to that party. So anyone that actually does have a seat to that, having that privilege is an honor and is something that you should respect. Hearing someone's story is something that you should respect, not slander or try to dissect or try to put your 2 cents on it or your spin on it. It's their life has nothing to do with you. You just so happen to get a ticket to be at the seat at the table to hear the story. But don't fuck it up where you can't eat at the table. Like, you're just at the table. I mean, you can eat here, so it's just like you will lose trust. Just like that person that will hear her girlfriend's or his boyfriend's or their spouse's story and then use it against them. You will lose that privilege if you do it too many times. And sometimes that too many times is only one time. You got one time to fuck up. Sometimes it's many times, but you lose out on learning. You lose out on the experience of sharing a healing moment with someone, of being in a better moment of yourself, of each other. You rob yourself of bringing beauty into a situation. And it's sad because you miss out on something very, very endearing. It's a forehead kiss. It's literally a forehead kiss. To be able to be with someone on a deep level that they're vulnerable with you and there's no judgment that is present, that's a very endearing moment. It is movie worthy to be able to express that amount of emotion willingly. I used to cry in the mirror in the bathroom, and I'm pretty sure this whole Truman Show, people saw it. I don't know how the fuck you saw that shit. I really don't know. But it's just like, oh my God, it was movie worthy, and it was just like, that was sacred. And in all actuality, I would have never showed it to you because I don't know you, and I don't have to be vulnerable with you. I don't know you. But it happened. And it actually is for my good. Because in some form or fashion, the world needed to see that pain exists. And it exists that great to the point where as soon as you look yourself in the mirror, you literally fall apart and you do an ugly cry. And the only thing that saves you in that moment is to hear the voice of your child. And you suck it up and you put on a smile and you go outside and you be a mother. That is something sacred to share to someone. And that's usually, people really think about it. It's like a place of, you really need to talk to a therapist about that, not the world, right? You don't speak about the world. That's something that people see in movies. That's not something that is just like real conversations, but it happened, right? And it's just like, I had no control over that. I honestly don't want to be known. I don't want people to know who I am. Like, I want to live a regular, normal fucking life, but that's not the cards that was dealt to me. So it's just like, this is for a bigger purpose. It's bigger than me. This is my pain is for something. It means something. And I may not get it all the time. I may not get the bigger picture, but I know there's a bigger picture. That bizarre type of shit don't happen every day. That shit's bizarre, but it happened. So it's just like, it's an honor to be able to share, and it's an honor to be able to receive that story from someone, and respecting that line and respecting that person's story. To respect that person's story is such an honorable privilege to do. Don't fuck it up by disrespecting that sacred moment, that bond, that could have been formed. Don't disrespect it. Don't shit on it. Don't, because you never know, that person can actually be on some, only takes you one time and I'm done. I ain't saying shit to nobody now. You're gonna fuck it up for that person for the rest of their life, all because you could not control yourself. You gave unnecessary pain that you didn't have to. So the thing is, if you were more accountable of yourself, truly accountable, because we throw this word so easily, but if you're able to be truly accountable, and I'm not saying that you're going to get it right every day, because even I have messed up and has judged someone, but if you can catch yourself before or even after, you can do so much more improvement in the long run than within that moment. But if you now I'm gonna just keep doing what I do, and I'm gonna say in the name, but I'm gonna tell you, how it is. I'm gonna, oh, we quiet now. Are you really helping? Or are you helping yourself? Like, are you just like, ooh, that person, oh, they spicy. It's just like, are you just an asshole? Like, you really gotta look into it. Talking about somebody else's life or somebody else's pain point, how is that really helping them? Really ask yourself that. And do you feel like you would deserve a seat at the movie, at the table? You got a free ticket, and this is how you act? Can't take your ass nowhere. You embarrassing the shit out of yourself. Like, hello? Some people don't get invited out because, you don't know how to act. Some people get invited all the time because, they love being around that person. I love sharing with you. Be that person that people love sharing stuff with you with. It's like, be that person that even if after you've met them and that encounter has now ended, that person still thinks fondly of you and says, damn, I wish that person was there. I'm going through it right now. That's the person to talk to. I want to be that person. I want to be that person that somebody is like, I wish I knew their number still. Like, I should only hope, right? So it's just like, better yourself and keep bettering yourself so you can become that person. I ain't gonna get it right every time, but I'm gonna try. And I'm not gonna be a dick because I know exactly what it feels like to deal with dicks. Like, it's unnecessary pain you're giving, and you don't have to do that. So don't be that guy. It doesn't make sense to. No one's gonna come to your show anymore. That's all you do is judge. Like, I'm not trying to go to your show. You give me enough times of like, yeah, you ain't changing. Good luck with you, bro. God bless you. I hope everything works out. And I'm out. Like, I'm not, I wish you well. Like, but I know, like, yo, you're not good for my mental health. So imagine you doing that to somebody. Like, and I'm pretty sure that shit hurts. That shit hurts. That has to hurt you. It's a cause to reaction. Like, it's cause and effect, I should say. How you act is going to determine how many people actually go to you afterwards. So it's just like, some people like to be, I want somebody to check me. Not everyone's like that, bro. Don't think that one way is every way for everybody, because it's not. So that's it. I don't know what else to say, but I don't know. Really, really check yourself, because you could be that one hating ass friend that got something nasty to say after, like, that friend, like, was a friend to you. Don't be that friend. Ain't nobody gonna, after a while, people gonna be like, she two-faced bitch. She be talking about people and shit like that. She be putting my shit all out there like that. You don't want to be that person. And I'm not talking about just women. Men be doing that shit too. Red table talk through and through, thinking they doing something right, and it's just like, yo, all you're doing is judging at that point. You're just a big fat judger. And you think you got it right, but you're doing it all wrong. And nobody wants to talk to you willingly because you're a dick. Like, you're all you're gonna do is throw rocks when you do talk in the name of helping. And we all do it. Now, if you had a private conversation, you did something on some respectful shit, like, I'm gonna pull you aside. If you were married to somebody and your spouse keeps doing this one thing, are you, if they do it outside in public, are you going to be like, let's have a whole speech in front of all these people about all the things that you do wrong in the name of love? Or are you going to wait till you get home And then really speak about it in a loving manner. Like, hey, you keep doing this and this really does X, Y, and Z. Can we find some kind of solution? Let's just talk this out. That person's actually going to be way more willing to listen to you because you did it in a respectful manner than you going in front of hundreds of people at the restaurant in the name of justice. You just look like that angry, miserable ass bitch. That's just like, you ain't got no manners. And that's the reason why your husband don't take you no fucking where. Because you can't control your damn mouth. It's the same way. Right? Or for the guy too. It'd be like, yo, guy would say some crazy wild shit. And it's just like, this is the reason why it's the reason why you can't keep a good fucking woman. A good woman don't even want your ass because look how you act, look how you think. Like, ain't no grown woman gonna want you. Like, so it's just like, it is what it is. But you gotta develop yourself to that point too. Like, I can only talk about my damn self. I can only talk about myself. I can only give specifics on myself. I ain't gonna sit here and be like, I know X, Y, and Z, and that person did this, because I don't know them. And I don't want to know their whole story because they didn't share their whole story with me. And it's not my place to share their story. It's not my place. And I respect people, even my enemies. There's some things that enemies have done to me that I will never speak of. That I have people that were friends that were not friends anymore. But there's some things I will never repeat because that was between me and them. And at that moment in time, the vulnerability, that's a privilege to have known and to have witnessed. So it's just like, that's not my place. And even though that you don't respect me, I'm going to show you what respect truly is, and I'm going to respect you. So at the end of the day, when you rest your head at night, you're going to think back and be like, damn, that bitch didn't even fucking do me how I did her. And I hope it weighs heavy. It just is what it is. You're going to fuck up, but you don't have to fuck up willingly. Do your part.